Hello, all of you. Hi. So good to see all of you. The question ocean and marine pollution. I think this will be an important topic, okay, directly or indirectly. इसमें कुछ facts पता होना चाहिए and you should know, okay, what all events to talk about. Ocean marine pollution में there are three things here. Number one, what are the reasons of pollution? What is the pattern of pollution? And what are the solutions or what are the interventions? ये तीन चीज हैं in your discussion. What are the reasons for pollution? What are the patterns for pollution? And what are the solutions or interventions? Okay. Or patterns, this is going to be again geography. Wherever possible, draw the world map, show the regions, कहाँ पर pollution है, कहाँ पर ज़्यादा है, कहाँ पर किस type का pollution है, patterns पे आपको ध्यान देना. Reasons, okay, I'll talk about right now. And solutions, you have to go into certain international treaties, talk about UNCLOS because आपका okay, syllabus specifically mentions UNCLOS and marine pollution. UNCLOS important है. And you must talk about how much have they succeeded, not succeeded in dealing with the problems of pollution. Let's start off with ocean marine pollution. Now, ocean marine pollution का reasons क्या है? What are the reasons for ocean marine pollution? Broadly हम बताते हैं the reasons of pollution जो है your UNCLOS talks about 6 sources of pollution. 6 sources में pollution from land, pollution because of activities and drilling on the continental shelf, pollution from the atmosphere, pollution because of deep sea mining, pollution because of dumping, and pollution because of vessels. The vessel source pollution. So there are 6 sources of pollution UNCLOS talks about. बहुत जगह में क्या करते हैं? Land and the shelf are taken to be one. Dumping and vessel source can be taken as one. But अगर 6 बोल रहा है तो आप 6 लेके चलो. There are 6 sources of ocean pollution according to UNCLOS. Okay, land we're talking about. Okay, the pollution brought by the rivers, the pollution by sewage, pollution by industrial effluents, pollution brought by the rivers. Okay, some part is natural and lot of is also because of the discharge from human activities. Sewage आप समझ में आता है. Sewage pollution, household pollution, urban pollution, industrial effluents, EFFLUENTS. Effluents में important are heavy metal pollution. इसमें mercury pollution important है. इसमें copper pollution है. We have lead pollution. In fact, because of mercury pollution, there is a special problem, health problem called as Minamata disease. Minamata disease is a kind of poisoning because of mercury. It's one type of poisoning because of mercury. Minamata disease. Copper pollution hai, lead pollution. Industrial, and even you have problems related to cadmium and arsenic pollution. Now इसके अलावा land से ये तो आपका proper पता है. Land say we also have some amount of non-point pollution. Anybody knows what's the meaning of non-point pollution? In non-point में क्या होता है? Non-point में the exact source is not traceable. Exactly, the exact source of the pollution is not traceable. Non-point में the pollution from agriculture runoff. This is important. Agriculture runoff say fertilizer excess comes to the oceans. Runoff say we also have problems where pesticides can come into the oceans. So this is a major problem, the non-point pollution of the oceans. Now, from the land, एक important category you can add अलग से, okay, ये बहुत news में है, okay, the plastic pollution. And I'll say plastic pollution को आप अलग से एक छोटे से box में डाल सकते हो. See, this is very important. That when you develop your answer, ये जो content की बात कर रहे थे ना बेटा, ये जो content की बात कर रहे थे, this content in your answer, a very important aspect of your content is keep the content as contemporary as possible. Okay, current affairs related, try to bring in whatever content you can. There will be nice way to show your awareness of the issues that concern us. So content पे आप लोग को ध्यान देना पड़ेगा and bring in current affairs. So it is in that context I am saying that you could have a small write-up. ज़्यादा नहीं, देखो, your answers are about 2 to 3 pages. 2 से 3 पेज के अंदर में you cannot afford to write too much on any one point. जैसे कि आप अगर यही वाला आंसर देखेंगे, okay, you cannot write too much on sewage, you can't write too much on industrial effluents or rivers. इसको कुछ schematic बना के दिखा देना that okay, we know these points but we will not elaborate much on it. Elaboration 2-3 lines extra कर देंगे on marine pollution. So marine pollution, we say the oceans receive more than 8 million tons of plastics every year. Recent time में बहुत बड़ा concern है what we call as microplastics. Are you aware of microplastics? Microplastics and microbeads. Some of these microbeads are used in our, yes, less than 5 mm, exactly. They're less than 5 mm. Lot of microplastics are used in our products like toothpaste, yes. And plus, okay, lot of microplastics also form because of disintegration of plastics in the oceans itself. And the unfortunate part is, ये जो plastics होते हैं, the plastics, just about 5% are in the superficial layers. More than 95%, it falls down to the ocean bottom. So in fact, lot of plastics, we don't even know that we are accumulating. Lot of plastics get trapped in the gyres. I'm sure you've heard about the Great Pacific Garbage Patch. Yes, okay, we have the Great Pacific Garbage Patch. So plastic pollution, because काफी news में है, okay, you can afford to write a few more lines on this. देखो, in answer writing, this is an important aspect. कि जब आप answer लिख रहे हो, you must know which points to elaborate and which points to mention and move on. So if I was writing the answer, I would not write too much on natural discharge. Okay, I would not write too much on sewage. Just mention sewage hai, nitrates hai, phosphates hai. They end up eutrophication coast में और छोड़ दो. Industrial effluents में heavy metals, tanneries से आते हैं, industrial waste से आते हैं. Lot of mining, okay, activities on the land. Mining activities on the land also contribute. Okay, so mention them as a part of schematic and move on, because याद रखो कि there is lot other things to come up here. तो अगर आप सब पे ध्यान दोगे equally, you will not be able to manage the answer in the required space and place. Jैसे the shelf में you don't have to add too much. Just mention there is drilling. Okay, so in your answer you could combine land and shelf together, and you are through with it. Atmospheric pollution में again not much to add. आपका main discussion होगा, maybe some bit of dumping पे discussion होगा, and the vessel source pollution पे होगा. Deep sea mining, this basically is one type of disruption. It leads to turbidity, okay, and discharge of dredging sediments. Okay, जो आप खोदते हो, you go and dig out the deep में, okay, that dredging, those sediments, they result in turbidity. It makes the waters muddy. It disrupts, okay, so it creates what's called as sediment plumes. Just mention these words, but I said in the plastic pollution, definitely, okay, the problems related to, okay, say marine life ingestion. Those whales, those fishes, they're known to eat the, many marine life forms get entangled in the thrown debris. Some of this is also toxic. It impacts the physiological functioning of life forms. इसमें जो endocrine impact होता है, the hormones get impacted, the reproduction gets impacted. Okay, so a quick discussion on what are the consequences related to plastic. Whereas I said, ये जो बाकी वाले points हैं, you don't have to elaborate too much. You don't have to write too much on these aspects. Whereas vessel source pollution में a lot of pollution of oil है, oil spills हैं. In fact, even without oil spill, almost 20 to 30% is part of what they call as standard operational pollution. Oil spills तो काफी कम है. Less than 5% of pollution of oil is because of oil spills. But the bulk of the spill is because of the standard operation pollution. When they are transferring, when they're cleaning the ships, something called as ballast water release. When they clean the ships, अब तो आपका rocket debris भी है. You can talk about Elon Musk and his experiments. ठीक है, तो fine. So do mention all of this as a part of your pollution. So oil spills is going to be more important than all the other type of deep sea mining and the rest. Or dumping में, dumping is a major concern. Dumping also includes industrial waste. एक time था, we also had dumping of nuclear wastes. We have dumping of urban wastes. ये deliberate होता है. Dumping is deliberate. Even though we have conventions and rules not to do this, but this dumping continues to be a very, very popular option for countries to dispose of their waste. So dumping pe, we do not have proper implementation. So more or less this, and one more important discussion you can add. So now come towards the major. एक प्लास्टिक पे आप ध्यान देना, और pollution में एक और चीज है, talk about the problem related to invasive species. And lot of invasive species, I hope you know what invasive species are, right? So a lot of invasive species, they are transported as a part of the ballast water. The conventional type of pollutions, these are invasive species or life forms which are transported when the ships are pumping in and pumping out water as a part of their ballast, B-A-L-L-A-S-T. Ballast is one type of way to stabilize the ships. Invasive species ka sabse good example of this problem is what's called as zebra mussels. They have rapidly impacted, they have impacted fishing in Black Sea. वैसे ही the problem of sea urchins. Sea urchin again one type of life form, impacted fishing along the US coast. They literally kill all the local indigenous species. So those are example. Zebra, and these are the more talked about mussel impacted Kerala coast. I do not know this. So Rahul says there was something called as Charu mussel. Charu mussel, ये बेटा इसी साल का development है, ये पुराना है. I do not know. Charu mussel of Kerala. Please do add. It's a current affairs, very nice. Talk about this, how it impacts the local biodiversity. So आपके आंसर में ना ये दो important discussions हैं. Invasive species को रखो box में, and plastic pollutions पे definitely add some more words than the others. Now talking about regional patterns के लिए ये important है. a part of the answer should also have patterns. Patterns may, okay, so you say bulk of the pollution is along the coast within, okay, 500, okay, within 50 to 500 kilometers from the coast. Lot of pollutant accumulates in the surface water, above the pycnocline. There is a layer called as pycnocline. एक आपका surface water है, surface water. There is a transition water. The transition water 500 meters से approximately 1000 meters है. And then there is deep and there is bottom water. So this pycnocline is a layer that does not allow for vertical mixing of the water. It's a transition layer of salinity and temperature. Okay, it won't allow for vertical mixing. So lot of pollutants gets trapped here. Of course, the plastics, because they're heavy, the plastics comes and sinks. The plastics comes and sinks here. Otherwise, lot of pollutants does get trapped above the pycnocline. Okay, and this can impact the chemistry of the surface water. Impact chemistry of the surface water. Remember, I said no in your answer. It's very important that you bring some amount of geography concepts. ये pycnocline जो है, this is a geography concept. One of them asking me, सर हम देख के कैसे पता चलता है कि सर ये ज्योग्राफी स्टूडेंट का आंसर है या फिर सम जीएस का आंसर है. उसका पता ऐसे चलता है that a student should use terms which a GS student is not expected to know. A GS student will not know pycnocline. A GS student will not know UNCLOS in detail. A GS student will not know to mention the problems related to upwelling and downwelling. A GS student cannot write about the problem related to invasive species. So your content should have some terms, some diagrams that does not look like a GS student can do. Then we know, अच्छा, ये फिर geography student का answer है. Diagram बेटा, ये surface water है. Then there is an intermediate layer. And below this intermediate layer, you have your deep waters. I'm sure you have done this graph for temperature salinity. जो ऊपर का layer है, this is the surface water. Okay. And the transition layer 500 meters से 1000 meter तक होता है. And then we have the deep and the bottom water. And this transition layer of water in the oceans, this is called as pycnocline if you're comparing density. It is called as thermocline if you're comparing temperature, or it's also called as the halocline if you are discussing salinity. So patterns, okay, एक है pattern, the coasts, एक है pattern in terms of vertical pattern, और एक pattern आ सकता है in terms of a regional pattern. Okay, you probably can draw, okay, the area, say India में, say in India, so we have some pollution here, we'll have pollution here, we have pollution here, Mumbai, Mangalore and Kochi pollution, Gulf of Kutch pollution, or ये सब cases में you can probably mention, okay, mention this is a refinery. Most of them will have refinery based pollution. यहाँ पर भी refinery pollution होगा and urban wastes होगा. यहाँ पर okay, you will have refineries and also discharge of industrial and urban waste. So something of this kind, okay, tell us some figures about where the pollution is more. Okay, you can talk about the major oil spills. Can you give me examples of 2 or 3 oil spills? The infamous one, एक बड़ा infamous हुआ है Galapagos oil spill, yes, Chennai oil spill, Exxon oil spill, British Petroleum. Where did Exxon oil spill happen? Gulf of Mexico. You also have had oil spills along the coasts of Indonesia. So इसका आप एक मैप बना सकते हो Barents Sea region में, absolutely the recent Arctic वाला in the parts of Barents Sea. Okay, so आपको क्या करना होगा? The idea is through these answers you should be able to write down enough content कि अगर they surprise you with a question, you have some amount of content with you. Okay, तो exam conditions में यही तो काम आने वाला है आपका. Do you know where Galapagos is, all of you? Offshore Ecuador, on the Pacific side. Offshore Ecuador, along the equator होगा. ठीक है? Look at Galapagos. So 2-3 examples में this is okay. One, एक और regional pattern in terms of plastics. I was looking up some data. It says plastic pollution में okay, we have got you have got 5 countries: China, Philippines, Indonesia, Taiwan, and Vietnam. More than 60% of pollution, plastic pollution में China, Philippines. Basically, okay, a huge amount of pollution happening along the South China Sea. Russian Norilsk oil spill hai. So you have plastic pollution, you have pollution from the industries, from the land, you have pollution of vessel and oil spills. Okay, some mention of deep sea mining and pollution with facts and diagrams. Yes, सारा कुछ should come within 2 पेज. अगर 3 पेज का आंसर है, 2 पेज के अंदर में ये सारा आ जाना चाहिए. And keep the 3rd page to write about the solutions and what can interventions be. So now we'll move on towards what are the solutions. Okay, solutions में देखो, you should know about, just mention, because solutions don't go into too much of detail. You should mention what has been done. Okay, mention some of the initiatives taken. Which country above Vietnam? Taiwan, Indonesia, Philippines, China, and Vietnam. These are the 5 countries that contribute to 60% of plastic pollution. Okay, solutions में एक तो आपका 1972 एक London Convention है. This in many ways was the beginning. London Convention. 1978 का Marpol, Marine Pollution, Marpol Treaty, and of course recent times में UNCLOS, and UNCLOS covers marine pollution under Part 12, Articles 192 to 237. Article 192, okay, it holds the port state, the flag state, and the coastal state responsible for intervening. I hope you know what I mean by flag state and port state. Okay, flag state, this country का flag है, okay, on the vessel. Flag state, port state, the port to which a ship is going. Okay, and the coastal state is the waterways of the country the ship is passing through. And under navigation laws, innocent passage, I hope you know what innocent passage is. Innocent passage is not inclusive of pollution. So a ship can use territorial waters, but if a ship is polluting, it is responsible for enforcement. It is responsible for to make the laws. It is responsible to intercept and intervene. Laws banao, stop the pollution. Responsibility lies with the port state, the flag state, and the coastal state in enforcing the pollution codes. And I said navigation laws mein, innocent passage does not include pollution. Pollution is part of the marine crimes which has to be stopped. So UNCLOS says that, and under the clause of डीप सी माइनिंग के प्रोविजंस में UNCLOS includes dealing with pollution. SDG 14, it includes life below water. Okay, that is how you enrich your answer. Life below water. Okay, और interventions में IoT devices हैं for monitoring the water health. Okay, it has been used by NOAA. Okay, National Ocean and Atmosphere Administration. NOAA uses IoT like devices for underwater monitoring. Now, as a concluding remark, you can say, okay, but the regulation and implementation has been improper. Okay, we'll have more plastic than marine life forms. So conclusion is on this sad note, because implementation ठीक नहीं है, dumping continues, not proper monitoring done, so the intent is missing. Okay, हमने laws तो बना दिया है, but the intent to really intervene, that is missing. Okay, so if I'm looking at your answer now, answer ऐसे 3 पेज का आंसर होगा ये वाला. पहले 2 पेज में talk about the reasons, talk about the patterns. I want some maps here, I want some schematics here, talk about plastic pollution, talk about invasive species. Okay, और 3rd पेज में please go towards solutions and conclusion. और मैंने कहा conclusion में you can show that not much has been done. The conclusion is about कि भाई implementation ठीक नहीं है, pollution बहुत बढ़ रहा है. The problem of regulation is inadequate, the implementation is inadequate, and the oceans will have more plastics than marine life. 192 is that article. Okay, to 237 ये articles हैं of the UNCLOS. UNCLOS के articles. Okay, under part 12, these deal with the problems of marine pollution. ठीक है, so आपको मैंने more or less दे दिया है. Okay, form, up to you. You take up and see how you can write this. The next question, discuss ocean habitats. They're also called as biozones and their characteristics. Okay, discuss ocean habitats, biozones and their characteristics. Habitats, so you could start off the answer by saying that oceans make up almost 3/4 of the world's surface. They make up almost 3/4 of the world's surface. Oceans are important biozones. Biozones का मतलब है where life form survives, where life form lives. Biozones. Okay. Now, ocean biozones broadly can divide it into 2 parts. We have oceanic, एक है coastal biozones और एक है pelagic biozone. Coastal biozone, this is the coastal part, within the 200 meters depth, and pelagic biozones, these are the open oceans. The coastal biozones and the pelagic biozones. Now, the coastal biozones जो हैं, these are also called as the Neritic province. This includes littoral. Anybody knows what's the meaning of the word littoral? What's the meaning of the word littoral? It means intertidal. Yes, not near coast. It means intertidal, between the high tide and the low tide. And coastal also includes supra-littoral. Anybody knows the meaning of supra-littoral? Supra means above the high tide. This is actually what's also called as the spray zone. Okay, तो यहाँ पर okay, water enters only in case of abnormally very high tides. Like abnormally very high tides, tsunamis में, storm surge में यहाँ पानी आता है. Okay, supra littoral includes the mangrove forests also. It includes the mangrove forests. ठीक है? Yeah, this is the salt spray zone. This is a salt spray zone. Now see, this is the example of what I mean by bringing geography into your answer. A non-geography student cannot know these terms. Neritic province, usko pata nahi hoga. He will not know the word called littoral. He will not know the word called pelagic. So even if you ask a question, discuss marine ecosystems, ऐसे का पूछते हैं, okay, general studies में. So how do you bring geography into that? In an optional paper is use terms from your syllabus. Use terms from your geographical say reference. Okay, इसको बस mention कर देना है. This is okay, and ये littoral and supra-littoral जो है, okay, this will also include estuaries. It will include lagoons. It will include, okay, I said mangroves, and also will include swamps and wetlands. Okay, if this is your ocean, this is the continental break, this is the shelf. जो ये वाला पार्ट है, this is neritic, whereas जो ये वाला पार्ट है, this is pelagic. Now benthic अलग चीज है. Okay, benthic is different. This is the ocean. This is the ocean water. This is the ocean water. When you use the word benthic, you're talking about the floor. फिर होगा neritic का benthic floor, और फिर होगा pelagic का benthic floor. जब floor की बात करें, वो अलग है. Okay? So yes, we also have the marine life zone in terms of the floor also. This is the deep floor. This is the shallow floor. This is the neritic, okay, benthic floor. Otherwise, this water is called as, ये जो water है, this water is called as neritic water. ये जो water है, इसको बोलते हैं neritic water. The water of the continental shelf. And this is the open oceans. You recall what you have done as a part of pelagic. Okay, neritic floor भी हो सकता है, neritic water भी हो सकता है. You can have both the terms. Okay, neritic floor भी हो सकता है, neritic water भी हो सकता है. Okay, yes, the bulk of the life forms are on the floor. You can add that. Hadal-pelagic and the rest. Hadal-pelagic is more than 6,000 meters की बात हो रही है. Okay, don't confuse others, please. Let's go one by one. So I hope you understand what I mean by the coastal division. Okay, this is the coastal part. Coastal part में estuaries, lagoons, swamps, wetlands, mangroves, okay, shallow waters हैं, and pelagic is the open waters. Okay, pelagic waters you can divide in terms of epipelagic, mesopelagic, bathypelagic, abyssopelagic, and hadal pelagic. Epipelagic is within 200 meters. Meso is from 200 to 1000 meters. Bathypelagic is 1000 to 4000 meters. Abyssopelagic is 4000 to 6000 meters. Okay, and hadal pelagic is more than 6000 meters. So आपका ocean floor कि ये डेप्थ है. These are the depth of the waters. Okay, and this is entirely on the basis of the layering of the ocean waters. Okay, now the floor of the oceans is a floor है. Okay, the floor of the ocean is called as the benthic biozone. The floor is called as the benthic biozone. The benthic biozone, it has more than 90% of all life forms. And this also includes the floor of the shallow waters. ये भी shallow waters का floor है. The word benthic, okay, this word benthic is related to the word benthic है. This basically means floors, the floor of the ocean. If I classify again for you, just for your sake of clarity, okay. So जब habitat को हम differentiate करते हैं, habitat can be on the basis of the water province, and the habitat can be on the basis of the floor, the benthic. On the basis of the water province, it can be shallow water, it can be open water. Shallow water along the coast and open water. वैसे ही फ्लोर भी होगा, okay, कॉन्टिनेंटल शेल्फ का फ्लोर और एक है ओपन. ठीक है? So this is the Neritic waters, this is the pelagic waters. Floor में this is the Neritic floor and we have the benthic floor. देखो, you do not need so much of classification. It doesn't make sense. आपको कुछ terms जानना होगा and you should know what to focus on. Because Savindra Singh gives lot of classification every chapter. Okay. In chapter में आप देखेंगे ना, Savindra Singh का ये खासियत है. Every chapter we have 2 pages of classification on the basis of climate, on the basis of vegetation, on the basis of depth, on the basis of human activities, on the basis of perception, God knows whatever he wants. इतना complicated जरूरी नहीं है. You need to focus on the more important ones and be through with it. तो ठीक है, now you understand better. Neritic pelagic में भी आता है, Neritic floor में भी आता है. The word Neritic का मतलब होता है shallow. Shallow waters within 200 meters which has a floor. The continental shelf region is the Neritic zone. Neritic zone का Neritic floor, pelagic zone का pelagic floor. Okay, so what I did was I combined all of this together into one quick discussion which was here. So मैंने ये classification ऐसा नहीं लिया है. Okay, I have taken the classification like this: the coastal waters and the pelagic waters, and we have differentiated. Okay, now the question was discuss the habitat and zones, and we're talking about what are the characteristics. This is an important part. What are the characteristics? Some properties, right? We'll talk about temperature. We'll talk about salinity. You can talk about oxygen content. You can talk about nutrient content. Like you'll talk about sunlight. You can also talk about productivity. These are the 4 or 5 dimensions of characteristics. And you can't separate them, okay? If you separate them, you can't handle it. Okay, इसको आपको साथ लिखना पड़ेगा. Okay, so something like these are the 6 elements of characteristics. Okay, और biozones की बात हो रही है. Okay, okay. Now you must write all of this together. So look at how I'm doing it. Okay, we say the oceans are, or rather, I say the oceans. Biozones can be differentiated on the basis of varying physical and chemical properties. The shallow waters of the Neritic and The epipelagic zone is the warmest. It has much of the ocean's temperatures, mostly temperatures. It is relatively less dense and it has a higher productivity. In particular, the shallow Neritic province, estuaries, swamps, lagoons have high productivity and have higher content of oxygen. They have higher content of oxygen proportions. आपके टेक्स्ट बुक में there is a graph, habitat chapter जो है, page number 345. See the page 345. एक ग्राफ है आपका, and I want this graph to be drawn. Layers of water, oxygen content is higher, then it falls and then again increases. Nutrient level is less, okay, then it starts increasing and then it falls. Page 345 में ये oxygen का है और ये है nutrients का. Now I've tried looking into many books here. Why this pattern? None of them explain the entire process. All they say is, ये जो pattern है is the consequence of, okay, three things. Consequence of, okay, the ocean mixing, the consequence of interaction with the atmosphere, and because of the life form functioning. Okay. Ocean mixing includes ocean currents and also includes the vertical mixing. So ये pattern जो है, I would want you to straight away copy this down. Okay, how the oxygen level is high, it starts reducing in the transition zone. ये 1000 meters का depth है. It starts reducing oxygen. Nutrients का ठीक उल्टा है. Nutrient is more in the depth. Okay. It increases and then it rapidly falls. So upper parts में the nutrients is a bit less, and maybe because the nutrients also gets rapidly consumed. Why the nutrients starts falling? Because upper layer में काफी life forms होते हैं. They rapidly consume the nutrients. So there are three things. There are three reasons why this pattern. I said एक reason है ocean mixing, like a vertical mixing, ocean currents. The second reason is the atmospheric interaction. ऊपर में आपका atmosphere है. The atmosphere interacts with the ocean's water. There's some interaction going on in terms of gases mixing, evaporation, rainfall, and the rest. And the third is the life form functioning, the physiology. But none of the reference books I had tell us exactly what's happening and why this pattern is built up. तो बेटा आप लोग भी इतना लिख के छोड़ देना. Even Samindra Singh does not detail why this pattern develops. Okay, so this is part of a discussion about the upper layers, the shallow layers, the neritic and the epipelagic layers. The second reason is the interaction of the oceans with the atmosphere. Why does nutrient peak? Because lower down the metabolism rates of the life forms are lesser, and below you have got more production. आपके rocks हैं वहां पर, hydrothermal vents हैं वहां पर, 90% of life forms are at the bottom. Lot of nutrients comes from the salts, lot of nutrients come from the life form remains. 345. This is the chapter of ocean habitats. So I repeat, ठीक है, आप पढ़ नहीं पा रहे हो. The three reasons for this pattern. एक है ocean water mixing, और एक है interaction with the atmosphere. The third is life form processes. Okay, metabolism, life form processes. Ocean water mixing में you have got currents and you also have the vertical movements of upwelling and downwelling. तो shallow waters का ये pattern है. Now the water is less dense, high productivity areas हैं. Okay, shallow waters की productivity is more than 500, okay, as high as 1200, okay, grams, okay, per area per year. I hope you know the productivity. Okay, productivity is very, very high यहाँ पर shallow waters में. The productivity is very, very high. Okay, more than 500 to 1200 grams per area per year. Okay, there are 6 characteristics you have to discuss: temperature, salinity, ocean, nutrient status, sunlight, and productivity. Okay, and my suggestion is इसको अलग-अलग मत कर देना. अलग-अलग करोगे you can't handle it. You don't have as much words on temperature alone. You don't have as much words on salinity alone. You can't detail on nutrients alone. इसको आप divide कर देना into 2 broad parts. Okay, productivity increase, yes it will. More than ocean warming, productivity increases with eutrophication. जहां पर phosphate ज्यादा हो गया, nitrate ज्यादा हो गया, वहां पर ज्यादा बढ़ जाएगा productivity. Okay, 344 includes neritic. Neritic is the shallow part. Add करो उसको, कोई बात नहीं. Algal bloom बढ़ जाएगा, exactly. We're digressing, ठीक है? So this is the shallow water का properties. Okay, and then you talk about the properties of the pelagic waters. Pelagic waters में वैसे ही, okay, shallow waters में क्या है? And talk about the deeper waters. Deeper waters, okay, they will be high in carbon dioxide. They will be high in nutrients. Okay, they have lesser salinity. Okay, and pelagic waters, जो deeper waters हैं, pelagic and deeper waters, they will also have relatively lower productivity. In fact, good parts of pelagic waters, because of low productivity, the open waters are also referred to as biological deserts. Because of low productivity, the open waters are referred to as biological deserts. जो more variety of productivity है, high productivity is in the shallow waters and parts of deeper waters. जो open waters हैं, they have relatively lesser productivity. देखो ये सारा कुछ लपेटना है आपको एक आंसर के अंदर. So 2.5 page is what I'll suggest you should write this answer in, not more than that. Now you could add up some data. Yeah, page 403 देखो. Pelagic waters, I said. Again, pelagic waters include the shallow epipelagic. They include the deeper waters, and in general, the deeper waters are higher in carbon dioxide, higher in nutrients compared to the very shallow parts. They will have lower salinity in general, and they have lower productivity also. And because they have lower productivity, the open waters are referred to as biological deserts. Okay, and you want some figure on productivity, page 403 देखो. Page 403, pick up whatever you can from here. Okay, page 403 लिख लो, बाद में देख लेना आप लोग. There's a table of gross primary productivity and net primary productivity. Open oceans का बहुत कम है. Coral reefs, estuaries, upwelling zone, the shelf part, the algal beds, they have higher ones. Okay. Oxygen at the depth is lesser. Yes, exactly. Okay. Not the least. The least तो आपका ये transition zone में है. Don't say the least, Devyani. Oxygen देखो. So if you look at the oxygen, the least is in this zone. उसके बाद ये बढ़ जाता है. So it's not the least. It is lesser, but not the least. The least is here in the zone of the pycnocline or that intermediate layer. Okay, nutrient का वैसे ही, in general, the deeper waters have higher nutrients. Benthic zone और water में फर्क है ना? This is the ocean. ठीक है? Benthic का मतलब है floor और ये है waters. ये है waters. This is the pelagic water. This is the benthic floor. तो लाइफ फॉर्म्स यहां पर हैं, वो तो ठीक है, बट ये जो ओपन वाटर है, दिस इज ऑल बायोलॉजिकल डेजर्ट्स. इज दैट ओके? नेरेटिक पेलाजिक में नहीं होना चाहिए. नेरेटिक इज पार्ट ऑफ द कोस्टल रीजन. पेलाजिक का एपीपेलाजिक बोलते हैं. ओके, दिस इज कॉल्ड एज नेरेटिक. पेलाजिक का जो ऊपर लेयर है, okay, this is called as epipelagic. This should not be called as neritic. So that is the correction बोल लो या modification कर लो in your write-up. एक है ocean का differentiation. Classification में एक है ocean water का differentiation और एक है ocean floor का differentiation. Ocean floor will include the benthic zone. Ocean water will include, okay, the pelagic and the neritic. The floor or water में confuse मत करो. The water, this is the province. This is the ocean province. The deposit, okay. ये pelagic water का deposit on the floor. This is pelagic water का deposit on the floor. So ये वाला. We don't use the word benthic here. So when we say pelagic deposits, we imply the deposits of the open ocean ka floor. Pelagic deposits means the deposits of the floor of the open ocean. The word benthic is used for the life forms. What are the deposits that come under pelagic? बताओ. Pelagic deposits में क्या क्या आता है? Pelagic deposit includes biogenous, ooze, will include red clay, will include cosmogenous, will include terragenous deposits or not? Yes, what we call as terragenous muds. Okay, these are very fine. And it also include the hydrogenous, which is the precipitates, the PMN, and also the evaporites. Evaporites कम होता है, precipitates and PMN ज़्यादा होता है. So if they ask you pelagic deposits, you must write about all the deposits. Turbidity currents transport the deposits from the shallow neritic floor to the deeper pelagic floor. The turbidity currents, they transfer the shallow neritic deposits to the deeper pelagic floor. What are the zones of marine habitats? What are the biozones? And discuss their properties. Discuss the properties, अलग अलग मत कर देना, make it 2 different paragraphs or 3 different paragraphs. You conclude in इस question का conclusion कैसे होगा? A part of the answer could also be on the patterns. Patterns में you can talk about the tropical waters versus the temperate waters का habitats. You can talk about coral reefs, mangroves. Temperate regions में you can talk about kelp forests. Like you can do that. Conclusion में take it towards significance, importance. Talk about the marine biodiversity. Talk about fishing, importance. Talk about sustainable use of ocean resources. And remember, या तो solution होगा या futuristic होगा. If you know about India, maybe you can also add here that marine habitats have to be conserved. Do you know of some initiatives? You know of any initiatives for conservation of marine habitats? Marine protected areas, MPA. MPA, marine protected area. This is like marine SDG 14, marine hotspots, conservation of coral reefs. Okay? So end the answer towards that. Okay, let's move on now. So we have done 2 questions. The next question, this is a 10-mark question. Differentiate estuaries and lagoons. 10 mark का question है, 1.5 page में निपटा देना है. Think of an introduction. So introduction, estuaries and lagoons are important. They are shallow ocean habitats. They're part of the coastal features associated with shallow waters. They are shallow, okay, ocean habitats. They are coastal features associated with shallow waters. Okay, estuaries and lagoons are high productivity zones. Productivity of more than 1,000 grams per meter square per year. The areas of very high productivity. So this could be an introduction. Diagram में, like it's your choice. You can use a schematic. Okay, so you could say neritic habitats, estuaries, lagoons. Write some points here, write some points here. This could be one. Or you could draw maybe the map of India and then say, okay, lagoons, Chilka Lake Lagoon, Pulicat Lagoon, Ashtamudi Lagoon. Okay, you have got Vembanad Lagoons. Okay, lagoons of India, estuaries, show along the river mouths. Okay, so Ganga wala region bata do aap, Krishna, Godavari, Kaveri region. You have some of them along the western side. Mangalore पे है, मुंबई पे है, okay, Narmada and Tapi पे है estuaries, ठीक है. So you could use this schematic as a diagram, or you could draw this map of India and show estuaries and lagoons of India. आप ये भी कर सकते हो. मुझे एक diagram चाहिए after 20-30 words of introduction. Then you start off differentiating between them. So maybe first write about estuaries, explain. Okay. Now estuaries का 2 type का discussion है. So estuaries का, there are 2 things. One is estuary as a landform. As a landform, this is submerged river valleys. Okay. They are river mouths. They are river mouths. If you talk in terms of landforms. If you talk in terms of habitats, these are shallow water zones with mixing of saline and fresh water from the rivers. अगर आप landforms के साथ बात करें, estuaries are submerged river valleys. If you talk in terms of habitats, these are shallow water zones with mixing of saline and fresh water from the rivers. Okay. Therefore, we say, estuaries, these are at the terminus of rivers, where rivers end, terminus of rivers, where the fresh water of the rivers interacts with the saline waters. So this in short is explanation for what are estuaries. अगर आप देखना चाहें textbook में, textbook, this is chapter ocean habitat वाला ही, okay, page number 350. Page number 350. It says estuaries defined as a partially enclosed body of water where salty ocean water is diluted by fresh water from land runoff. River runoff is the most common agent of dilution of the salty water. Okay, you can take up some sentences from here. Okay, and we have estuaries. So by that sense, almost all river mouths can be considered, or deltaic regions may be considered as estuaries. इसका आप examples दे दो. What are the examples? Narmada estuary. Okay, we have got the Ganga. हालांकि Ganga is covered by lot of sedimentation. Okay, estuary. Amazon का estuary. Hudson Bay ka estuary, 4-5 rivers will be sufficient here. Now, in contrast, you talk about lagoons. Okay. Now, lagoons are semi-enclosed, okay, waters along the coast. Semi-enclosed waters along the coast. Keep writing, please. Along the coast that are relatively isolated from the open seas. The semi-enclosed waters along the coast, they're relatively isolated from the open seas, and unlike estuary, they have relatively less or no, okay, mixing with fresh waters. They're isolated, okay, they are semi-enclosed, and unlike estuaries, they really have relatively less and no mixing with the fresh waters. And examples may give examples. Chilka Lake Lagoon, talk about the atoll lagoons, Bembanad lagoons, और lagoons के बहुत सारे formations हैं. Lagoons can be because of corals. Lagoons can be because of bars and spits, and lagoons can also be tectonic. Okay, when the land is such that some water gets trapped here, tectonic. Estuaries can be because of, again, okay, because of water inlets. Estuaries also because of bars that trap some water. They can also be because of fjords, F-J-O-R-D. Fjords are the submerged glacial valleys. Tectonic ones we have along the coasts of Gujarat. Okay, because of the indents, upheavals. Gujarat coast ke saath mein we have some tectonic lagoons there. Like Kutch region is something like a tectonic lagoon. It's bigger than a lagoon. It's something like that. Okay, so what are lagoons and what are estuaries? So main difference is estuaries में fresh water mixing होता है, whereas in case of lagoons, okay, there is lesser amount of fresh water mixing. And then you talk about the significance. Significance और conclusion को आप एक साथ रख सकते हैं. Estuaries can be because of inlets. Okay, ऐसे inlets है along the coast. Along the coast एक ऐसे inlet हो गया, ऐसे inlet हो गया. Okay, example बताता है San Francisco Bay is something like an inlet like this. It can be because of a bar, okay, some sand bar here, and there is a river draining here. So this area can have mixing. It can be fjords, F-J-O-R-D. Fjord is a submerged glacial valley. Okay, so differentiating estuaries from lagoons. Okay, you introduce the idea, give two diagrams, write a paragraph or so on estuaries, and while writing about lagoons, you are comparing. You compare while writing about lagoons. Or significance conclusion. आप एक काम और कर सकते हो. If you want to have a bit more of an impact, you could have a table here. Write estuary, write lagoon, coastal features. ये भी shallow waters हैं, ये भी shallow waters हैं. This is where fresh and saline water mixes. This is no mixing or relatively less fresh water. Number 4, it can be a river mouth, it can be bars, it can be fjords. These can be because of bars. These can be because of corals. Okay, lagoons can also be tectonic. Estuaries में, because there is fresh water, will estuaries have corals? No. तो यहां पर ये इंपॉर्टेंट डिस्टिंक्शन है, एस्चुरीज में कोरल्स नहीं होते. Okay, lagoons can have, okay, there are corals in the tropical waters. Okay, significance में दोनों केस में high productivity zones, this also is the high productivity zones. So table में एक टाइप का summary बन गया. You have a type of summary. And remember, both estuaries and lagoons, they are one category of wetlands. Okay. एक और difference है, I forgot to mention here. Estuaries में, the diversity in estuaries, the diversity of life form is less. If you compare estuary with lagoons, okay, in the estuaries, the diversity of life forms is far lesser. Okay, compare lagoons. Lagoons may, they can be very high biodiversity. खासकर if it is a coral lagoon, then it is almost like rainforest of the oceans. If it is a coral lagoon, it is almost like rainforest of the oceans. Ecological significance, the need to conserve and manage, and maybe marine protected areas का concept में, okay, talk about the conservation. 357 में, there's one column which is on the biological activities in the estuaries. Biological activities of the estuaries में, ecological significance, talk about conservation and management of the areas, wetlands. Okay, so you could also mention here, you could mention Ramsar, for example, okay, lagoons जो हैं बहुत सारे Ramsar convention के अंदर में आते हैं because they're part of the wetlands. And you can talk about again part of the marine protected areas. Now I will give you a generic question. ये आपका काम होगा. This is an open question. Write a note on, okay, significance of marine ecosystems. So I do not want to explain this to you. ये आप अपने आप try करोगे. Okay, try it on your own, and then I will take the discussion forward. Okay, 10 marks, 10 marks. You will not write more than 2 pages. 1.5 page is also good enough. Significance of marine ecosystems. What are the types of coastlines, or discuss the types of coastlines and the associated landscape? This is a 20-mark question, again 2 pages, maximum maybe 2.5 pages में. What are the types of coastlines and discuss the associated landscape? Now coastlines को classify करने का, okay, there are 2-3 schemes. In your oceanographic textbook, the chapter will be, this is chapter number 8, page 217. This is 20 marks. Chapter number 8, page number 217. The types of coastlines and the associated landscape. Now, the type of coastline, you will discuss. Coastline कह लो, I will use this term, okay, as also meaning shorelines. हालांकि दोनों term अलग है. Now, there are 2 classifications. Page number 217, 218, 219. Okay, ये 3 page में you have these type of coastline and shorelines. So One is classification given by Shepard on the basis of the processes and agencies in the development of the coastline. Okay, Shepard's classification on the basis of the agencies and processes in the development of the coastline. We have primary coasts. These type of coasts are impacted by tectonic and sea level changes. The second are the secondary. The secondary coasts. Secondary coasts are impacted by marine erosion. Okay. अगर टेक्टोनिक चेंज है and sea level change है. Okay, so tectonic and sea level change, this also includes landforms of deposition. This also includes the features of depositions on the coast. Whereas secondary ones are those जिसमें कि the coasts are shaped after their formation. Shepard's classification on the basis of processes and agencies in the development of coastlines. Primary coast में the agency are not the waves. In the primary coastline, the agencies are not the waves. Whereas in secondary classification, the agencies are the waves, okay, that cause erosion. The agencies are the waves that cause erosion, that shape the coast after their formation. इसमें examples हैं देख लेना page number 219 and page 220 में. Okay, this is one classification. The other classification was given by Johnson, D.W. Johnson. This is also referred to as genetic classification. Agencies in the development of coastlines. And D.W. Johnson's is also called as the genetic classifications. So there are 4 types. There are emergent coastlines. Emergent coastline because of relative fall of sea level. इसका main feature होगा lagoons, backwaters, sandbars. The second type are the submergent coastlines because of relative rise of the sea level, and submergent coastlines में estuaries,